Hi, this is Matt from Self-Made Renegade, and in this video, I'll show you how to stand out in the first 10 seconds of an interview. The most common interview question, period, is tell me about yourself. It's usually the very first question asked, and it sets the tone for the rest of the interview. Now, when you're asked this question, typically, if you haven't had training, you'll see an answer that's something like this. I was born in the enchanted forest. I've done some apple poisoning, some evil queening, the usual. The problem is that even if there's a movie that's been made about you, even if there's a story behind how you got to where you are, people don't know how to express that and tell that when they're asked this question. And what happens is, rather than starting a focused conversation that can move the interview forward and immediately make you stick out in the interviewer's mind, you end up simply with a throwaway that makes you forgettable. Today, I'd like to teach you how to fix this. I'm going to teach you a technique called the two-sentence story technique. And this is something I go through with everybody I work with on interviewing, everybody I work with on resumes, and everybody I work with on networking, because it's helpful in all three situations. If the evil queen were to use the two-sentence story technique to tell her story, it would look something like this. I ran a 10 million people kingdom, and what I really loved to do was helping dictators maintain their throne from threats through the use of magic artifacts. And I really got into that when I actually had a threat to my own kingdom, and it really showed me the importance of knowing how to use those magic artifacts correctly. So, dissecting that, there's a lot of things there for the interviewer to grab onto. They could grab onto the fact that she ran a large kingdom. Whoa, what was that like? They could grab onto the fact that what she does is what they need, which is to keep their kingdom from being taken over. And they could also grab onto the story. Oh, tell me more about what happened with your kingdom. What it does is it creates a focused conversation for the evil queen. So let's break down each aspect of her two-sentence story and teach you how to do the same thing. So the first aspect that you heard the evil queen give was a memorable fact or hook. That is something about you that is memorable or creates curiosity. An example of a hook I gave above, I give people superpowers. That is a hook. Tell me more about that. An example of a memorable fact from the evil queen was simply, I run a kingdom of 10 million people. It's something that's immediately interesting, immediately memorable. A memorable fact that I used is that I'm an ex-magician. So that's the first thing you want to do in your two-sentence story, is a memorable fact or a hook. Something that piques their curiosity, or is just so different that it gets them intrigued and makes you stand out in their mind. The second aspect of this two-sentence story technique is who you help and how you help them. So in the evil queen's case, it was, I help dictatorships, large dictatorships, a specific company type or a specific type of people maintain their throne, how you help them, by solution, using magic artifacts. One that I've used when I'm going to work transforming after-school programs is I help after-school programs transform not only their programs, but also the student lives by offering innovative character curriculums that nobody else offers. Again, so many things to grab onto there for the hiring manager to say, oh wow, we need that. Tell me more about that. So just to break the second sentence down even further, you have, I help specific company type solve problem with solution. Okay? So you have your hook, and then you have who you help and how you help them. And finally, the second part of your story is the why. And if you can get a specific story from your career, from your life, that got you into this, that immediately creates a connection between you and the interviewer. I talk about, I once had a student who was going through a time where her father was just sent to jail. And in her diary, rather than pouring her heart out to me about her father, she said, I should be uplifted. I had a bad haircut. She said, don't get down about your haircut. And that really showed me the importance of strong character. If I could give other kids her character, it could completely change their lives. So, to break this two-sentence story technique down to its bare essence, I am the memorable fact who helps company type solve problem by solution. I do this because compelling story. And I've given you examples of each of these elements. So what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to have you create your own two-sentence story technique. What is your memorable fact or hook? Who are you helping and how are you helping them? And why do you want to solve that problem? Once you've done that, go ahead and comment below and you'll get a free critique by me, a free comment about what I think can be improved, which I normally charge quite a bit of money for a session like that. So go ahead, enter that in. It's really going to change your interviews and your conversations and networking events. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the flip side.